up in about 5 minutes. So in 5 minutes, we'll be starting, ladies and gentlemen. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, the time has hit 0 and the song is done. Well, technically, there was no song, but oh well. I realized I could have put my background image on, but I didn't realize I did that. But otherwise, guys, it's time for some fun. So give me uno momento while we just grab the other players, because otherwise we will get absolutely nowhere. Oh. Hang on a second. Okay. Check 1 2, check 1 2, check 1 2, check 1 2. Quickly load up, and there we go. All right. Boo!
Well, I don't have it.
The Mugbeard was.
What did
No!
What did I come back into?
I'm trying to tell him to give Mugbeard 1,000 gold.
I wasn't there.
But that was our reward.
And,
I do not recall any of this.
and with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, it's time for some fun. I am your host, Brownie of the JCG Gamers, and joining us tonight on our intrepid quest to the land of Manu is our intrepid, well, lucky adventurers, I think we'll call them. and I am Brownie, your dungeon master, and joining us we have Dell.
Hey everybody!
We've got Carlol.
I think I'm here.
We got a Raven.
Wait, what? Me?
We got a Phoenix. We got a Chopper.
Ew.
We've got a Lena, I think.
Hey.
Oh, ayo. We have a Heidi.
Just in the nick of time, too.
You are just in the nick of time indeed.
You joined
Fucking
literally as we
road
started.
Conditions are just abhorrent over here in Michigan.
Well, let me guess. Snow?
Slush.
Oh, that's even
Worse.
All right. And I believe we are missing only one person with us. We're missing a Secton. Again.
He's got a dentist appointment.
Yeah, indeed. But anyway, how's everyone doing?
Good.
It depends on your version of doing good.
Yeah.
I'm a bit hurba.
I have definitely been doing better.
And Trilly has been replaced by a 40-year-old man.
Today, the voice of Trilly will be by Seto Kaiba.
Someone told me Mugbeard's now rich. And I'm like, what?
I'm not.
Yeah.
Do you
I
smell
do not recall any of this.
Chris, do you smell that?
Does that mean...
Well, I think I can find a very faint smell. What is it, Heidi?
I smell 50 episodes?
Not yet, unfortunately.
Oh.
Damn it, I'm early. Okay.
Yeah, still
I don't know
early.
about you, but
We're
I
on
don't know about her, but I
43.
smell bullshit.
The other 7 episodes are still
7 episodes
breakable.
to go for 50.
Yep, and I demand that somebody brings me cake.
I'll send you a pizza.
Well,
I'll
Take
take it. I'll take it. I'll take 12.
You get the one and you'll like it.
As long as it's not pineapple.
too
Pineapple on
bad.
pizza is an abomination that should never have existed. I blame Canada.
And
have
I'll have you know I
okay.
happen to like
No,
Hawaiian
that's not
pizza.
true.
Okay. Before we
Oh
go,
my god.
I have cake.
You just insulted
I have
Moonraver for the
pineapple.
next 3 generations.
ladies and
Pineapple cake.
Sorry.
Pineapple.
Heidi,
Pineapple.
for the sake of things, Heidi, you said that you like pineapple, yes?
Rarely, but yes, when I'm given it, I will eat it and I like it. Sue me.
I never complained. I was just saying. Anyway, just for the record, by the way, let's not complain about things. Remember, if you like what you like, then you like what you like. And that's our moral dilemma of today, ladies and gentlemen. If you like something, don't let anyone tell you otherwise. Attention, duelists.
No, my headphones. Okay. No.
God damn it, I have a cold and I still can't get my voice that deep and
Am I this drunk already?
It feels like we are, aren't we? I could have sworn I was.
I demand that somebody brings me Inspector Gadget.
Don't tempt
Oh,
me.
I call.
All right,
Okay,
anyway.
now that we've been given nightmare fuel. How about we put on some creepy music to match that?
You want some creepy music? Okay, I got creepy music for you. I think this is the creepy music. Is this the one? What? Oops, wrong one. We're not in a fight.
That was too creepy.
Wrong lever.
Wrong lever.
Wrong lever!
All right. So, everyone, are we ready to play?
Yeah.
No.
Oh,
Yes?
well, too bad. Also, I see Lena has just joined us back again. Are you all right, Lena? Well, she's.
I'm better now than I can see the freaking map.
Hey. Can we get group hugs for Lena?
Big
Group hug.
Group hugs for Lena.
Group hug.
Aww. Also, the wrong levels are going off in the chat. So anyway, last time on Perception Check, the Hope Finders, after venturing into the Green Shard Mines, had decided that the best chance of action now, to relax and enjoy themselves, was now. The team split off into very different directions of the city of Noir in order to acquire their own personal devices to get things back on track for themselves. Magnus, with the help of a partially reluctant Mugbeard, but still happy to come along for the right price, ventured back into the Shard Mines to acquire the lucky material that Magnus was originally after. The substance of adamantine. With a little bit of luck, they managed to find it and found that the armor that Magnus was after would be ready in a few days. But would they be around for that long? Only the group could decide that one. Meanwhile, Topaz had a little bit of luck going off to the Temple of Saloon on the western part of the city, managed to encounter a nasty little preacher who basically was claiming that he was the chosen of Bahamut, but with some very kind words and actions, managed to get convinced by Topaz with a little blessing from the goddess herself, and with a little bit of skill involved after punishing him in a way, managed to acquire a reward from the goddess herself with some training of her own. Meanwhile, Trip, doing her own little devices, managed to, at one point, meet up with Magnus and Mugbeard in the Green Shard Mines, acquire the material that she was after, and, with a little bit of luck, managed to acquire it without any trips or falls, meaning that Trip was rather happy. Didn't you?
Yay.
Yeah, did you manage to create anything with that? I've forgotten.
Not yet.
Not yet. Okay. Just have to make sure. Now, we did some off-screen stuff for a few things and stuff like that. Oh, yeah, sorry. We forgot about the other plot point. What was that other plot point? Oh, yeah. Ursula.
The bath.
Yeah. Well, yeah, they had a lovely little moment in the baths with Trilly, Secton, and Trip, as well as Ursula, all going off to the baths to relax themselves. After that adventure into the baths, Ursula decided to go pay her mother's grave a visit, but not without someone else making a visit in this procedure as well. Erickson, the dad of Ursula and the one that abused her as a small child for scientific endeavors, giving her a warning to stay out of the fray before it jumps too late. But whether that would be heeded or ignored, only time would tell in this scenario. Now, after a little bit of extra work as well, Trip decided to do a little bit of extra work as well, meaning donating to the charity, which we did off screen. So Trip made some donations there, as well as had a bit of an apology session with a certain deity. But we'll get to that a bit later. And Trilly also got to perform with Zelion, making a little bit of money along the way. Now then, let's kick back to where we were. So, mighty team, before we carry onwards, I asked Kotlol for his own endeavors in the procedure, and he's got his plan for this. Now, I want only people to reply if there's anything else they need to do. Is there anything anybody needs to do off their list of things?
I only have one thing.
anyone else?
Mugbeard's asking one thing.
Oh, Mugbeard's the reward. Yes. Yes, there was. I almost forgot. Yeah, you all actually got a reward for your efforts, actually, and I completely forgot to get this out. So please excuse me. I need to go back to my former notes on this one. Okay, yes, here we go. So, before we get to the before this, I'll say that this takes place just before Zelion and Trip are off to go do their last endeavors during your... I realized I did this wrong, so I'll say for the concept of this, it's approaching the end of the day, so the next day is going to be where things will settle, or if you need an extra day, we'll let you figure that out along the way. Okay, so I'll let you guys decide that with your own device. So, before Zelion and Trip decide to go off on their next part of their list, Mayor Felix had actually come up to you with Lorna in tow, the Mayor of Felix of Noir, and Lorna of Helix. Please excuse me. You actually see that she comes up and hands you a chest. Now, I have to remember, did I mention about this at all? I need a confirmation from everyone. Did I already hand this out or not? Because I wasn't 100% sure.
Yes.
Yes.
Thank you. Sorry, I wasn't sure if I did. Yeah, so yeah, Mugbeard's right. There was a reward that got handed out. So, did Mugbeard get his share, by the way?
Sure.
I don't think he did, actually.
Didn't someone pick it up to bring to him?
I believe so, yes. Does anyone remember how much it was?
It was somewhere in the range of 800 gold, wasn't it?
Something like that.
I think I had 28 gold. Like 8. Wait, no. It's somewhere in the range of 1,000.
Yeah, it was 1,000 gold split. It was 100. It was 100 gold for each of you. Yeah, it was 800 gold split between the 8 of you. So each one of you got 100 gold, including Sexton, who's wandered off.
Yes.
I thought some of us split 1,000 apiece.
Yeah, sorry. My mistake. Yeah, thank you. You reminded me, Lena. It was 800, 100 for each of you, and then it was an extra 200 because of Trip's wording with the dragon, causing the whole thing to be nullified when you arrived in Noir, and saving the assistant of Lord Felix. So yes, thanks to Trip, you got an extra 200 gold, so that was 1,000 gold split between the group. And if I get my notes... here we go. So Raven, for the sake of this, I've actually found it here. Based on what they had on everything else here, they have left you with the whole share of things. You have 110 gold was what was left over from the pot. So that's your share from the reward. That's just the heads up there. So 110 for Raven.
Okay, so they stole 15 gold from me. Well, I'll be generous.
Pew, 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 pew. Raven will remember that.
No, he won't.
Okay, so I'll say after the pleasantries and things, let's start with Zelion. So Zelion, who was the person you wanted to talk to?
Anna?
You wanted to talk to Lorna. Okay, so I'll say that you managed to grab Lorna's attention just before you finished. So are you having this conversation right here in the square?
In private.
Okay. So Lorna just sort of looks at you. She sort of leads you back to the office of the Mayor of Noir, and she takes you to a quiet room, and she looks at you for a brief moment and goes, "So, what did you want to talk to me about?"
I take this moment to pull out the dragon shard. It's concerning. I wanted to talk to you about these, actually.
The dragon shard. What exactly do you want to talk to me about?
I'm just curious about something. I'm just curious about something. Did when you had this, did 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 it ever try to talk to you?
I remember it did a few times, yes. I remember this male-like voice. It was telling me to seal my soul with his. Kind of just almost contract-like. I didn't believe such nonsense of it, so I just chose to ignore such a thing. But it was then that I remembered the words of my dad, and he mentioned that if such a thing was to happen, it was always best to ignore those words.
Did he ever say why they needed to be ignored?
He just told me exactly as I've told you. Heck, I even gave a concern when I said I was going to give this shard anyway. Why do you ask such a question?
Because I because I okay. I explained to her what happened with the dragon shards and how Magnus, Trip, and I are soulbound to our dragon shards.
Sorry about that. She sort of puts her hands to her mouth for a moment, almost slightly covering it up, but a mixture of surprise and pondering in this case. She looks over you for just a brief moment. And nothing out of the ordinary's happened?
Not well, other than a few times where they've pulled us into this dreamscape, nothing major has happened. Nothing super major has happened. Depends on what you mean by that.
Well, manipulation.
No. I don't believe so. At least I don't feel like my shard's manipulating me.
Zelion, make an Arcana check. Who's playing Minecraft? I hear Minecraft in the background.
19.
19. You do get so based on your times where you've talked with the dragons, you have had this feeling that there has been some magical essence that has been put into this, but you're not sure whether it's exactly the dreamscape itself or whether it's the magic of the dragons themselves. But you know there's at least something that's been involved with the talking, but you at least know that it's a gentle presence of magic, but not like you can't tell if it's the world itself of the dreamscape when you guys were there, or whether it was the dragons bringing you in, so to speak.
I relay this information to Lorna.
Well, that definitely sounds interesting. You said into the dreamscape, right?
Yeah.
And it's just been you three?
There was one point where they kind of got where they pulled the rest of our friends into the dreamscape with us, but it was only one time. It's only happened once.
I see. Well, I don't know much more information than that. All I know is that these dragons seem to have a lot built into them. Concerning what they've been trying and what they've done with you, it's obvious that there is something they're trying to do. But I didn't think much of it, you know. I mean, I am a mayor. If I chose to listen to a dragon, then I would be, you know, sealing my freedom of my country.
I suppose I can see your view on it as a leader, but at the same time, if the Black Pen is going after these shards, I'm kind of worried. I'll admit it makes me nervous knowing that they could potentially try to bind themselves to these dragons. If not us, it would be. If not with one of us, it would be with one of them. Whether they're chosen or whether they force it. No.
I see. 1 second.
Excuse me, sorry.
No worries, no worries. Okay. So she sort of leans over and places a hand just gently on yours. Are you scared?
Initially, a little nervous, but I don't have any but right now, Cobalt was its name, right?
You know about the dragon you've got?
Yeah.
The one from Helix.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's dragon. Yeah. Cobalt hasn't given me a reason to distrust him, and so was nervous, but I don't have a reason to distrust my dragon.
I see. Well, I can safely say that concerning that you're still here, I'd say that says it all. Just promise me that you won't do anything stupid. If it starts getting crazy, find some way to disconnect that connection. I mean, I don't know what this fake me told you about the stone. Whether it be good or bad, but just, if you're going to do something with it, just be careful. Please.
That I can promise.
Well, it's worth considering. Just, I wish I knew how else I could really help you in this scenario. I'm sorry.
Don't worry, it's fine. You've done enough, and that's fine. But there is one more thing.
Yes?
When you were being held captive, I mean, you were covered in a lot of injury. You had a lot of injuries. Do you know what exactly Quill wanted with you? Other than to take over your town?
Honestly? He mentioned something about... Well, actually, hold on. Okay. She sort of looks at you for a moment, and then just as she tries to recall it much, she feels a pain in her head, and she places her hand gently on her forehead, like, I'm sorry. I know he wanted something, but I can't really remember right now.
Put my hand on her shoulder. It's all right. Don't force yourself. Well, hopefully we'll figure it out on our own.
The only thing I do remember is they mentioned it's got something to do with the shards. But that's all I know. I can't really remember anything else in detail.
It's fine. It's fine. Like I said, don't force yourself. I tuck my dragon shard back in my shirt. But if there is anything that you can recall that's worth mentioning, just let us know, or at least let it. Oh gosh, I'm forgetting names. Sorry.
Who are you on about? The you're on about?
Titanus.
Titanus. I know you
Yeah,
haven't
or at
gone
least
back.
let Titanus know. Yeah.
Very well. Thank you. Now, I'm sorry, but do you mind if I just go back to rest?
Of course.
Thank you. Are you all considering going back? To Helix, I mean.
See, well, from how it sounds, yeah. Chances are that's a definite yes.
Then, let me know when you do. I want to come with you, so we can get my town back.
I smile and nod, and then proceed to leave.
Okay. So you head out the same way you do, and that's basically all we got for your end of things. So the rest of the day is whatever you want to do with it. Trip Shield! You have been waiting patiently. So what's the last thing on your list that you told me you wanted to do?
The library information gathering thing, but there's a little twist to it because of the person shouting Bahamut.
Okay.
Remember?
Okay.
The crystal was going to be dragged along with the search.
So you're taking the guy with you.
Yeah, because it's like because she doesn't tell why she's like she's looking information about dragons, and you seem to name a particular dragon, so maybe you know something or are curious as well.
Okay, so I'll say at the point of all this, I'll say after he's finished his punishment of cleaning up the temple, Topaz leads him back to you, and then you then take him off the hands.
Mm-hmm.
So you do roll an investigation check for me, please.
Investigation. Let's see. What's my investigation at? Investigation is a +1.
Went for that. 6. It takes you the good part of an hour and about a good part in an hour and a half in order to find the information about this. While this is going on, the guy who was with you seemed really hesitant to really help you, but more along the lines of because he was scared on opening his mouth. So after a while, he does lead you back. He is with you, and you do find not so much a library, but more like a proper archive. Doesn't really have a name, because I haven't really thought of one. So it's just the Noah Archives, essentially what it is. You make your way into this large, beautiful looking building, decorated with a few sort of lush greens dotted around it. As you make your way inside, you see on the left side and the right side bookshelves among bookshelves of many, many different varieties of information. As you walk down this long pathway across a red carpet all the way down to a counter which has 3 figures sitting behind it. Those 3 figures are all gnomes. You see one of them jump up on a small stool and looks up at you and just sort of like, "Hello, welcome to hello. Oh, you're a tall one. Hello."
She gives a friendly wave back to them. Hello.
Hi. I can say that this is a new one on me.
She just gives a friendly smile. It's like, "Oh, do not worry. I am just here looking for books about dragons per se. Do you have anything about dragons?"
You need to be a little specific. We have a few books on dragons, both stories and novels and information. You need to just be a little more specific, my dear.
Trip is thinking for a moment. Specific. About the dragon emperors of old of Manu, if I believe.
Oh, that's a good one to look. She looks over at a colleague and goes, "Did you hear that one?" Yes, I'm off to go get it. And you watch as this male figure walks off from the side, and now you see this gnome who, with this small hat on, is only just, if you stretch the hat out, would be only just coming up to just above your kneecap. And you just see this little figure just walk off, almost like Marvin the Martian style, like. And he walks off towards the left side of the bookcases. Anything else?
No, that will be a good place to start. Thank you.
Okay, my colleague will be with you in just a moment. Are you reading these here, or are you taking them away?
We'll be reading them here.
Okay, very well. Augusta? And you see the other gnome who was behind the counter, who, now you clicked, the name of it was Erguster. And just looks
Erguster.
up, yeah, Erguster, looks up to you and goes, "Oh, I'll go prepare the reading tables." And watches the other figure goes out and just rushes as fast. You see him go into a small section that's been roped up by what looks like those barriers that you see like in VIPs type of things, like cinema releases and such, and sort of begins to take one of them down. You see him sort of dusting off the tables a little bit, and he sort of stands there on the side and just looks at you at this point. And the figure who's with you, Trip, looks at him and goes,
Yeah, Crystal. I
yeah.
think his name was Crystal, right?
Yeah, correct. He nicknamed himself Crystal.
Yeah.
Crystal looks over you and just sort of goes, "If you're looking at the dragons, why do you need me?"
She very much turns to him and says, like, "Well, you mentioned the name Bahamut, and someone actually told me that Bahamut is their god as well, so I figured it was related to dragons. You could help me find some information in these books as well."
You think there's a connection with my god and what you're looking for?
I'm most sure of it. She's clearly trying to hide some information or the details from him.
Okay.
Not sure yet.
Make a deception check then, please. Well, actually, no. Hold on. Is this deception or persuasion? I mean, are you trying to
More persuading, more like keeping information away, not trying to deceive him, or more like saying like,
Okay.
clearly she's not trying to give everything away.
Okay, go for it.
What is it, deception or?
We'll go simple. If you're telling him for asking his help because of the connection, I'll say persuasion. No. But if you're really trying to hide the information, it would be deception.
Doesn't matter. They're both the same, but it's
fair enough. 14. He sort of looks at you for a brief moment. He just blinks a bit. He doesn't really think too much of the information. He just sort of nods, knowing that he's kind of going through his punishment, so he's just trying to help where he can. And with that, the figure that went off first comes back carrying this compared to him is a large book, but to you is a book that is basically the size of your hand. And he sort of brings it up to you and just sort of goes, "Here you go."
Thank you. Thank you very much. I appreciate your help.
No problem. Please let us know if we'll be of any more assistance for you. And he just walks off right back behind the counter.
Yeah.
And
Thank you.
this book that you have before you is a slightly worn-out green book. It's decorated with a gold border that's sort of dotted around the side. On the corners of each of the, on the front and the back, is what looks like a sun in the top corner and the top left corner and the bottom right. And in the bottom left and the top right, you see what looks like what is probably looking like a dragon skull. And there is a title on the book. And it's basically just called The Dragons of Manu. The Legends of Old.
All right. Well, Trip will open the book and look at the how many chapters are in his book. So she's reading the index first.
Okay. The index, you find that there are 12 chapters to this. You look and you see that there is a chapter based on each one of the dragon gods, or the dragons there. You see a few other bits of titles that are kind of worn out, but not as bad. But then you do see another one that, but the first chapter that you see does say the word history. Crystal at this point looks over and goes, "Anything I can do?"
She looks at him and pretty much asks, "What do you know about the dragons of old of Manu?"
Just what we learned about growing up. Just that they were old. They were old deities of old, but I don't know much more than that, I'm afraid.
She thinks for a moment, and now this Bahamut, did he tell you anything?
No, he just told me that I just preach his name. That's all.
Thank you. Let's read the book, and very much opens to the page of history and sees if she can find any reference to Bahamut specifically.
Okay, make an investigation check. With advantage, because this is something that you sit yourself on doing, I'll allow. 9. 13. Okay. You sort of look through the first 3 chapters of the book to start off with, before you start to feel a little heavy, knowing the fact that you don't see the name Bahamut anywhere in the first 3 chapters.
No mention of Bahamut in the history.
I will say though, you do find something within the history of between the history part that does depict sort of something catches your eye, because you do find the name Volcanus.
Well, she will then investigate more about Volcanus, of course.
Okay. Where are you starting? Are you starting with the history itself, or are you starting with the chapter on him?
The chapter on him.
Okay. So you turn to chapter 8 of the book, and you see the name Volcanus, the Domination Dragon. So, let me just get my... I actually have to pop out my other journal for this one. Give me a second. I actually have to bust out my old book for this one. I wrote this down specifically.
Ooh.
Yep, I was ready for this one. I was actually ready. It's just Dragons for Dummies, Dragons in New Edition. Chapter 1, Dragons Breathe Fire. The end. Thank you. Give me a sec. Where am I looking? Ah, here it is. So, the history that you got here on Volcanus. Volcanus was known as the Domination Dragon, loomed to reside within the north of former Manu. Over 550 years ago, Volcanus was said to have taken the seat of power, claiming the north area as his domain. He loomed over all the mountains, the local shores and things, and had the will within his mind that domination stands tall. During the time when he was reigning over the north, he didn't have much a connection with the other dragons of the other areas of Azarine, Cobalt, and Crystallis. Each one of the dragons all saw their different viewpoints of leading each of Monu, almost like 4 different kings who chose to try reign over the entire of the land, proving that their viewpoint was correct. Volcanus believed that domination was the true factor, saying that power over all and the weak should be buried, burned, and led into a life of slavery over all that led their way. During this time, he had the biggest grudge with Crystallis, who he saw that Crystallis believed that cooperation was the bigger form of power. During this time, Volcanus and Crystallis used to have different confrontations. They had confrontations between the dragon gods themselves, as well as their followers, as well as soldiers who chose to fight under the rule of their dragon. The last recorded date of a battle between Volcanus and Crystallis was 436 years ago. To be specific, you find that in 7 days' time, it is exactly the anniversary, meaning it will be the 437th. I worked hard on that one.
And yeah, so let me think for a moment. She pretty much points to the sovereign dragon's name, Crystallis, and then looks at Crystal. Does this name ring any bell to you?
Hey, it's got the same name I chose.
Yes.
As a matter of fact, that was actually I actually chose that from a statue I found in the south, actually.
Statue? Where did you find the statue?
Oh, I found it in the south.
In the south?
Yeah. I apparently found it sort of close to, what's that name? Creo, that's it! It was sort of on the outskirts. It was a small little village that, well, they didn't give it a name, and they chose not to put themselves on a map, but when I was walking around, it was a place that took me in. I saw the name, and it was the name I chose to give myself the new identity, as it was. And that was where I received the vision.
You can see Chip think for a moment and then takes a deep breath. Well, it seems that it was no coincidence that you bumped into us.
You think so?
Yes, I think so. After all, these names are the Volcanus. Well, remember the dragon attack that was a few days ago?
You mean that red drag? No, was that?
Indeed. It was Volcanus.
By Bahamut's breath.
However, the dragon right now, well, it is content and will no longer attack anyone.
And how can you be so sure about that?
She holds up her other shield, because I carry him with me.
He sort of stumbles back for a thing there. He's like, "You've got the shot of the dragon!"
She quickly searches.
I tell you what, make a dexterity check just to see if you can cover his mouth.
That's over. Dexterity, yay! 1, 2.
Oh, you sort of reach over to it. He sort of backs away in quick succession. He sort of backs away too fast for you to notice. You sort of reach with your hand and he sort of screams out, "You got the shot of the red dragon!" And the 3 gnomes behind the counter, all in sort of like cartoon style, go dum dum dum. Just poke their heads up like.
She gives an awkward smile, but nods to him and then waves to the gnomes.
They just sort of look and just. They're not quite sure what to believe of this, and they just slowly lower themselves back under the desk. And Crystal looks at you and just sort of like, you got that gem has him in it.
take a moment to recollect yourself. Yeah, and yes, he is with me. Yeah, I have sworn to protect him from whatever evil deeds will be used with him and anyone who wants to harm him.
You mean you worship Volcanus?
No, I still worship Hephaestus, but to keep Manu safe, I decided to be his shield.
Huh. Okay. He just sort of looks confused and he just sits down and puts his head in his hands like, I did not just hear that. I did not just hear that. And you sort of hear him singing a little song all of a sudden. It's just like... I'll come up with something, I'm sorry. Okay, sorry. Carry on, Cop.
Trip just smiles, gave him a relaxing smile, but clearly she's a bit tense from the outburst.
Okay.
Yeah, and she just says, yeah, it's hard to take in, but that's where I heard the name Bahamut. Volcanus himself told me about Bahamut. Or, well, mentioned him.
Well, Bahamut is a dragon god of justice, so I guess it makes sense of justice over domination, I guess?
She just smiles and nods, indeed.
Huh.
But this information that you just gave me, this village with the statue, it might be vital for our quest.
Okay. So are you still looking through the book, or what are you exactly doing?
I'm just waiting for a response from Crystal.
Sorry, I misunderstood that. I'm sorry. So the Crystal just looks over you for a brief moment and just goes, "Are you on about that little village?"
Indeed. In fact, let's look up the chapter on Chrysalis to see what else we can find out.
Okay, so you turn the next page after you finish looking at Volcanus, and there you see on the next page of the next chapter, ironically enough, it talks about Chrysalis, the cooperation god. Chrysalis was known to govern the southern area of former Monu. Chrysalis, unlike the other companions of the dragon leaders, believed that cooperation is power. Whereas the others deemed themselves over all the other dragons, putting their own will before the others, Chrysalis believed in a different philosophy, believing it was important for all people to unite. Chrysalis believed that even though she was the true one in charge, that she still saw the best thing in everyone. Mostly falling out with Volcanus over the idea that the dragons need to rule over all with an iron fist of many kinds. Chrysalis chose to keep herself secluded away most of the time, mostly governing within the most southern point of Monu. It was during this time that she chose to take a residence in the oh bloody hell, I missed my notes. Where'd I put this? Damn it, it's the one bit of info I missed. I wrote this and I had it in my head. Okay, where was it? I'm sorry.
Yep, the time moment.
Yeah, I'm sorry, everybody. Okay, yeah. Sorry, my bad. In a small citadel known as the Silver's Keep, formerly placed near the former area that you actually now see. Where did I put that note? So near the former kingdom of Strongfeld, also known as the area where the only remaining city of that former kingdom reigns, Helgable.
Oh, that's a name full.
Helgable.
Yeah, Helgable.
Helgabal.
Yeah, I spelled it correctly.
Yeah, just to make sure. What was I miss? My info on Chrysalis. Let's see. Go to where you were. Yes. Sorry about that. The last known sighting of Chrysalis was 400 years ago. Roughly about 400 years ago, because you see the date being 400 from this point. It was said that she had heard a weird wind coming from the place known as the Grand Drop, and she chose to investigate this on the fear of what was happening with her people. It was the last sighting they ever saw, when she flew into the cavern and never came out. After Chrysalis vanished, Volcanus saw this as an opportunity and chose to attack the south during this process.
You see Trip mulling over the information and just thinking for a moment. So, that's what happened. The Grand Drop. She's pretty much only mulling in. I was hoping so.
At this point, one of the gnomes sort of just looking over and sort of just nervously, excuse me, Mr. Dragon Protector. I mean, Mr. Furbolg.
Oh, she looks up. Oh, you heard everything. It's okay. Don't worry. He smiles over to them.
Will you be needing some? You see that this gnome is getting rather flustered in what's going on. Not sure how to really approach you at this point.
Oh, don't worry. I think I've got enough information. I'll be.
Okay. Do you want me to put that back?
Yes, please. And we'll be leaving. Thank you for.
My pleasure. Just remember, we're welcome back anytime, and knowledge is best shared, never locked away. Good day. And you see the figure just running back quickly to hiding to put the book away as fast as possible.
You see Trip pulling out 2 gold coins and giving one to Crystal and one goes to the counter to give the gnomes also a gold piece.
Okay, Crystal just looks at you for a brief moment. But I didn't do anything.
You see Trip looking over and says, like, you've helped more than you think. Thank you for at least being here and giving the little bit of information that you could give.
No problem. Thanks me. At this point, hold on a second. Give me a sec. I'm going to quickly roll. Natural 20. Okay.
Oh, Magnus is asking something.
Yeah, I noticed that. I guess I could say that the time will come by that it's getting a little bit on the late end, so maybe Magnus is a bit concerned. So I'll say, tell you what, Magnus, make an investigation check for me.
Oh boy.
Well, you need to find it because you didn't look exactly where they went.
Fair enough.
Not one.
16!
Dang it. 16. Okay. At this, I'll say more easier than how it took, than Trip found it. You managed to make your way there, and as you enter the building, your armor clanking away as you're walking across the carpet, you look over, and there you see, just placing a gold coin just on the counter, and now talking to Crystal, the sight of Trip Shield.
Ah, Trip, there you are.
Magnus? What are you doing here?
I was looking for you.
At this point, the gnomes just sort of look, as the leader gnome just looks up and goes, hello, welcome to the Noir Archives. How can I help you?
I was just looking for my friend here. What is that book you have?
This book? It's about the histories of it's about the history of dragons, the ones that ruled over Manu.
Oh, okay. What a coincidence.
I've already looked. Huh?
What a coincidence. I've been interested in looking into that as well.
Is that so? Are you wishing to look at the book yourself?
I mean, if it hasn't already been purchased.
Oh, I'm sorry, but all books and archive notes within these walls are mostly governed by protection of Noir's research facility. We can share the information, but we can't just let you take the books out of the city. It's almost like a proper library service, I'm afraid. They're not for purchase.
That's fair. Mind if I borrow that book for a minute?
Roll a persuasion check.
I'm pretty sure it's still a -1. 0 actually, so it's just right. 20.
Okay, 10. They sort of look to you they sort of look and sort of, then they look and they notice that you called out that you were looking for your companion, and unbeknownst to you, they sort of just look at you and goes, I'm sorry, but maybe it's best if it doesn't go out too much. And they just sort of...
No. I was going to look at it here.
They look, just ask the dragon protector here. And they all duck under the desk.
Trip very much looks at Magnus. They know about the dragon shard.
Well, they're not going to like... Well, I think they're going to faint once they find out what I have.
Crystal just looks over. Huh?
Nothing! I don't want you to have a heart attack.
He already had one from mine.
Well, then there's nothing wrong with the second.
Second? At this point, you hear like this word of second coming out from the counter, and all the gnomes at this point go, second? Second? Second?
Oh god, there are 4 of them.
Magnus, I already got the information from the book that will help us in the future, so how about we leave?
What information did you get?
The identity and the last location of the 4th dragon.
That's good.
In fact, she looks at Crystal. Our friend over here has taken the name of the dragon.
Interesting.
Yes, I chose the name based on the dragon, Crystalis.
Okay.
Apparently there's a statue of the dragon in a town in the south that is called Creo.
Roll in fact, I'll have both of you roll a history check for me for just a moment, please.
Oh.
It's a -1.
Yeah, both roll a history.
9.
9! 9! Guess what, Magnus? You don't recall nothing.
Yeah, obviously, because he's not from Manu.
No.
Where's Trip?
Yeah, well, Trip. Though you haven't really stepped on Monu much, you do know about Creo being the entertainment capital of Monu, but you also do feel that you have heard the name of the town somewhere before. Besides that, you remember you have heard it from a person.
That was the entertainment group, but I don't think Trip was paying that much attention. No, wait, that was in Helix. No, Trip didn't know that.
Wait.
Right? You mentioned that before in an earlier session, right? Brownie?
Yes, that's correct. This is before.
Okay.
Yeah, this is after Trip has joined the party, so it's not that entertainment group from there.
Okay. Well, I do heard that it's the entertainment city.
By entertainment, do you mean what? Gambling halls, poker?
Oh, sorry. I apologize. I didn't go into detail about that. Creo being the entertainment capital. Let me get my proper notes.
I'm thinking mostly on cultural things.
Yeah. Creo has been known as the entertainment capital for a good many few years. To be specific, it is known as an entertainment festival with every year it chooses to celebrate a festival known as the Celebration of the Mighty. Every year, they like to they like to swap around events to do like competitions and funfair games for basically events to take place, for everyone to come together to prove who is the strongest, the best willpowered, the speediest, the knowledgeable, and the energized. That's all you know for now.
So it's Vegas.
It is Vegas in a way, but it's mostly for like the family fun and strongman competition rather than the other kind of entertainment. That you know of, anyway.
Uh-huh.
Mm.
So, I relay the info and says, like, not only that, but Chrysali's last heard location was a location called the Grand Drop.
Do I need to roll another one?
No, because you actually know what this is.
Isn't that a massive cave system?
That is the massive drop that is right by the side of Helgable. And I wonder if you remember where you've heard that before.
It's on the map.
Cool! The dove sounds a lot like Raven today.
Hello there.
More reason to kill it.
We still want to shoot it.
Even more. Okay,
Wait,
please.
so then that means it's a meta Raven then instead.
Can I please roll an attack?
No.
No.
Not in the library.
Yeah, you want to do it in the library? All right.
You guys need to close your windows. The birds keep getting in.
Yeah, might have to. Okay, allow me. Since the fact you don't know it or you didn't look it up, it was the location that you heard from when you were in Helix when you received the Dragon Shard, warning you not to go near there with the Dragon Shards.
Ew. That place.
Yeah, it was the one you heard from, at the time, what you believed was Lorna.
So it's the Black Pen that told us not to go there, therefore we should go there.
You don't know that.
I mean, technically.
But we don't know that. But yeah.
Yep.
In Beerster goes to talks to Magnus. Maybe we should tell this all to the group and see what we can do then.
That's fine, but I still need to take a look at that book, and I'm willing to pay handsomely to take a look at it. I just need to look up the name of one dragon in particular.
Which one? The gnome just peeks up.
Azarine.
They sort of look over, and very quickly place the book on the counter, and they just back away.
Why do you guys look like you're about to faint?
Because you know the Dragon Protector. He's got the domination.
I'm sorry, the what?
Volcanus was the domination dragon.
Then what was Azarine?
See motions to the book.
I'm going to look at the book.
Okay.
Luckily, by the way, is it in common or is it?
Oh, sorry. It is written in common.
Okay, that means Magnus can read it.
Yeah. To be specific, it is written in common, and it is also written in Gnomish. It is basically written in two different languages.
I can read common, but I can't read Gnomish.
Fair enough. Then common you can understand. So verify what you're looking at.
Looking for references to Azarine.
Okay. So you're looking for references. So
Look it up specifically. What?
Okay. You actually find that Azarine is actually the third chapter of the book.
Oh, this is either really good or really, really bad.
Okay. I'm gonna have to get this note here. You're literally showcasing all my work on this, guys. Thank you.
Good. I wanted to know more about my dragon to begin with.
So,
the lies she's told me.
So, you remember hearing some of the information from Secton when you stopped off at one point and you first talked to Azarine. Azarine was the dragon who ruled with an iron fist on the western side of Monu. Unbeknownst to many, he did have a essence to care for his troops and his allies during his time of reign, but mostly only for those who deemed themselves worthy and those who proved beneficial to Azarine's power. Azarine soon gained the nickname the Leadership Dragon, believing that his leadership was the only thing that mattered, and that anyone who dared have an opinion against it would be suffering a very quick and painful demise. The last known sighting of Azarine was located over the western shores of Monu. He chose to venture out to venture off across the sea to see if he could find allies to join his cause. It was there that a black shadow engulfed the horizon as he flew off into it. When he flew off, the horizon vanished, as did he. And this was at the same time that you actually look in here, and this is the first time you've noticed this, Magnus, that it was actually the same time that Crystalis vanished as well.
This can't be a coincidence.
No, it cannot be a coincidence.
Something happened.
Indeed.
Some powerful magic must have sealed them in the shards.
Yet Volcanus' disappearing date was never mentioned.
If I had to take a guess, if he never disappeared, it could have never disappeared, and you could have sealed him in there.
You can see Dribble chuckling a bit embarrassed. It's like, it wasn't me, but something tells me something did happen, and, well, Volcanus did take over Chrysalis's area of the south after she disappeared.
Well, at least for now, I know at least I know for now Azarine won't do anything to harm us.
Oh, sorry, 1 second. Magnus, will you do one quick investigation check for me, please?
Sure. Let's see. Yeah.
Just a quick one for me, please.
Last one. Oh, God.
14. Okay. I'll say it's just enough. During the last parts of Azarine's message, on the Azarine's description, you do see a name that does strike off. Right at the last part of the area, you actually do see a list of Azarine's commanders under his reign, and one of them is a name that strikes you slightly. Fallen Talon.
Talon?
Fallen Talon.
Fallen Talon. Why does that name sound so familiar?
Who paid attention?
That was one of the members, I believe.
Wasn't that Topaz's friend? Or is that Scar?
I can't say anything yet.
I wouldn't know it that much, but I can roll a history check.
Sure, I'll allow it this time.
Well, my history check again.
Also, I'd like to ask this out. Do any of you guys know at home?
Nope.
To you, the name Fallen Talon sounds like the thing you'd expect from a bird falling from the sky.
I'll talk to the others about that name. I still don't remember why that name sounds so familiar.
This is now where everyone else is looking through their bloody notes.
It's like the index. Since we're here, shall we also look at the last dragon?
We might as well.
If you want to look, it's up to you.
Well, again, Magnus is the one with the book, so he has to decide.
All
right, let's do it.
Okay. So you turn to the next page of the dragons after Azarine, who's actually just before Volcanus, and that would be Cobalt. Cobalt was a dragon that ruled over the eastern side of former Monu. He earned the nickname the Wealth Controller, believing that the best thing in mind was money, gems. Anything that sparkled was deemed worthy in his eyes, and only for his eyes alone. Cobalt never really saw much else, but he only saw comradeship between those that would give him anything pretty shiny. That's the brief version. Oh, sorry. That's where the gnome looks up. Oh, sorry, we got the words mixed up. That's what it translated as. I realized what I said. I'm sorry. All right. Sorry.
Continue on.
Carrying on. Cobalt's true worth, though, did came in the form that he was the first dragon to actually obtain one of the 4 areas. Despite not being as strong as the others, he was the first to take charge over the eastern lands, giving himself a rite of passage, believing that the shores of the eastern coast would seem more worthy in his eyes. The last known location of where Cobalt reigned in a secret area that was known as the Green Shard Mines.
Oh my god. Trip, take a look at this.
She reads it and goes like, huh, that is kind of odd if you think about it.
We're back in his old domain.
Yet, Volcanus was here.
And yet... the thing is, how did Cobalt get to Helix?
You can just see Trip shrug.
I'm also loving all of this because I knew this was going to rattle you. I'm sorry.
Trip already knew something was off, but now just compared to something else more was off.
That would mean we're in Cobalt's capital, essentially. And that mine shaft we found, going down below, was his.
You can see Trip tapping her forehead for a moment. Think. Yes, I made that reference.
Think.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
I look at the gnomes.
Yes.
How long can we borrow this book for? This would be interesting information for our colleagues.
Well, the ruling is that you can hold on to it as long as you remain in the walls of Noir and return it within 3 days of you leaving the area.
I'll be in the area for the next 4 days, so I will return it before I leave.
And I put my Trip puts her hand on Magnus's shoulder. Let's just leave the book here and take everyone here.
If it's with us, it'll be safer. There's a chance it could be stolen.
I highly doubt it.
It's as you're doing this, by the way, you see the gnome that opened up to Trip Shield. You look at the gnome that let you into the sitting area. Is actually beginning working a little bit of. Is actually beginning to draw a circle on the ground.
Hmm? I'm surprised we had to roll perception for that.
Yeah, I'd say. Well, concerning how tall you are, you're looking over the counter, so you've got a good view of it.
Trip looks curiously. Let me guess. I have to do an Arcana check.
I'll say so. Sure.
No. It feels like that she has to check for.
Nope.
Mind if I roll an intimidation check? Because technically,
No, you can't.
You can't.
Trips.
Yeah, Trips.
No, they're tiny, aren't they?
Yeah, but the fact is they're technically under this desk, so the fact that Trip
fair
is
enough.
tall enough as a furbolg can look over the desk and see them. You, on the other hand, are slightly too short.
Oh, I'm
So,
6 foot.
well,
I'm
actually,
6
I will
foot.
say, if you want to, you can make a perception check, Magnus, but it'll be disadvantage.
All right. If I roll 2 20s again, I'm going to laugh.
I won't.
Perception +1.
By the way, did everyone like my notes?
Yes. 7.
7. Nope.
Okay.
No, since Trip can't see any threat in it, she just looks curiously that why he's not nervous. You don't want to nervous though, so she's like,
All
is
right.
there? So she promised. You know what? Trip's gonna ask. Looks over the gnome drawing a circle. If we are causing too much of a muck, we can leave for today if you want.
Oh, no. Please, you misunderstand exactly what this is. This is just a simple scrying spell.
Scrying spell?
Yes. Well, to make sure that nobody leaves our fair city with the knowledge that we have provided, we set up a scrying spell. Basically, we can keep an eye on you for 24 hours if we cast this successfully.
I look over at Magnus. Is that acceptable for you to keep the book around?
The only thing they're going to be seeing me do is drink, eat, and sleep. So, yeah, that's fine.
If that's what you wish, then if you wish to check the book out, it will be 1 silver.
I place it down on the table. Thank you very much.
You're very welcome. And with that, you look as the circle has actually stopped being written, and the gnome looks up at you, Magnus, and then looks back down at the circle, and just goes to getting close to finishing it off, but leaves one symbol off before he looks up at you and sits back down on the small seat he has.
Don't you have to finish that?
Oh no, we can see you right now, so we know what you're doing.
That is fair.
What?
That is actually fair.
Why spy on you if we can see you?
You can see Trip nod and just bowing to the gnomes.
You need to teach me that spell at some point.
Ursula has a bad expression, but yes, that's correct.
But yeah, Trip just smiles and bows to the gnomes, thanking them for the help.
Okay.
I'll catch up with you.
Okay. Trip leaves and looks at Krista. Are you coming along?
Coming, and walks quickly afterwards. The gnomes look back at you at this point, Magnus, and goes, anything else?
You need to teach me that spell.
The scrying spell?
Yes.
Are you diverse in magic?
Not necessarily.
Then I'm afraid
But
we cannot.
But I am willing to give it a try.
Fighter with a seeing spell.
Oh dear.
Oh,
A fighter with a seek spell would be overpowered as hell.
Oh no. What have I done?
And Trip will learn it because she's honorable.
I'll tell you what, Trip, if you want to, you can make a perception to see if you can see exactly what he's doing.
Okay, you know what? Let's do it.
Wait a minute, wouldn't that mean I would take a level wizard if I managed to get this?
You would, if you would. Well, actually, no. Hold on. Let me double check Scry, because I need to double check.
Moonraven, would I take a level in wizard if I had to do this?
Well, or sorcerer, or warlock, or any of the magical things. You could even be a bard, but
Magnus is a bard. No.
First.
No. Well, that reminds me, we haven't leveled up in a while.
Again,
let me double check.
that.
Let me double check Scry. Okay, the one thing to mention is Scry is a 5th level spell, so you would have to level up your magic spell. You have to level up your magical class really high to get that yet.
Oh, apparently I can't then.
The only thing
I
he
can't
can...
imagine Magnus is a spellcaster anyways.
Oh, no, I want to have... Here's the thing. If I multi-class, it'll be funny as hell.
I could see him. I could see him now. He's using the wizard thing. He'd be like, "Okay, bud, expecto." Oh, that's my sword. Expecto.
No. Here's what I would do.
My sword him.
No. Here's what I would do. As a bonus action, I would fire a magic missile.
I think it's an action.
I would attack, and then fire magic missile.
Magic missile's an action.
Oh, then I would fire magic missile and then attack with my sword a couple of times. I'd be bucket.
I think
I'd be overpowered as hell.
We'll have to look that up. But yes, Scry is a 5th level spell, so you'd have to give up your fighter waste for quite a bit if you wanted to get that.
No.
Let alone if he wants, the only one he can also do it is via a book of scrying, but they don't have any probably.
Nope.
Okay, good to know.
I will find a wizard who does.
Also 10, so I think it's a fail, so Trip just leaves.
Yeah, okay, yeah, you just walk out. You just look and see him talking, but you can't tell much else, you can just walk out. Okay, I'll say for the sake of levity, that's essentially the situation there. Magnus, you don't get the opportunity there because it's a high-level spell.
Fair enough.
And with that, the rest of the day is all yours, guys. So is there anything anybody wants to do before you guys call it the night?
Well,
getting an ice pack.
Trip first says to Elsa, Crystal thanks for his help and that he can now go on his merry way.
He just looks at you and nods and goes, "Thank you, thank you. Please tell Topaz that I pass on my thank yous as well."
I will.
And he just sort of walks off on his merry way and stuff like that. He walks off towards the dock area. He's basically going to the inn on the other side of the docks.
Okay.
All right. Is there anything anybody wants to do before the evening rolls on?
Trilly wanted to head back to the potion shop and pick up a few more healing potions.
Okay, sure.
Yep, I think Magnus is going to do the exact same.
Okay, then for the sake of some levity, the potion shop has 2 normal healing potions, and it has 1 greater healing potion available to buy. I will look that up as you do.
Actually, I can look it up right now.
Thank you.
Equipment.
I had this ready. I love the tune of the Dark Forest.
It doesn't actually say on D&D Beyond. I thought it did.
I've got it here. Okay, got it here. Potion of healing. Okay, yeah, here we go. So, normal healing potion, that'll run you 50 gold. Then a greater healing potion will be 100 gold.
I'll take the greater. What about you, Aeon? What are you thinking?
If you want to pick up the greater one, I'm quite fine picking up the other.
Yeah, alright. I mean, I do have more XP. I do have not XP, HP. So...
Fair enough.
It takes a while for me to get back up to strength.
Okay.
Yes.
Anything else?
I'm at the 4th one.
Trilly just wants to say thank you to the shopkeeper, essentially, for the potion of heroism and the help the other day.
Oh, I forgot about that one. She looks at you and goes, "Oh,
I didn't."
Just looks at you and just goes, "Well, I'm so glad I could help you, my dear."
It's just beer.
Water, like in Space Jam.
This raven is being awfully specific.
Alright, I'll meet up with you back at the hotel, Trilly.
Oh, what are you doing?
Fair enough. I'll catch up with you in a bit.
What are you What are you doing now?
You don't. I have a question for you.
Yes?
Do you have any invisibility potions?
I don't have any ready. I mean, I could try to make one as a commission, but it might take a while.
How long?
It depends on how fast you need it.
A couple of days.
Well, give me a second. Heidi asking the important questions. I'm scared where you're going with this. You know that, Magnus. I need to look up my info on the potion. Who wants to buy token? Who wants to buy a token? Post invisibility. Yeah, okay. She looks at you and goes, I could probably do it, but it'll probably be, well, the cheapest I could do it is 400 gold. If you want it any quicker, it'll be 600. Hello?
How long would it take?
It would probably take 5 days for the cheap option, or 3 days for the most expensive.
Well, what 4 days? What would that cost?
That would be right in the middle. That would
500?
Yeah, 500.
Well, I've got some good news for you.
Oh no, you actually have enough?
Oh yes.
Oh god.
Oh yes!
Oh no.
You're punching yourself right now, aren't you?
You can't.
I put the 28 platinum I had on me, which is 280.
Oh my god, I forgot about that platinum.
which is 280. Then I bring out the, let's see, I believe 200 and put 220 gold on the table.
So which option are you paying for?
The middle.
Oh, 500. Okay, that's fine. This is gonna bite me back in a later episode. I can see.
Oh, yes, it is.
Okay. Yep. So 500 gold. It will cost you.
I put it down. It's like, here you go.
Oh. I will get to work on that already. May I take your name?
Magnus. You can find me with the armor with the sun on it.
Okay. Are you staying anywhere?
I'm staying at the hotel nearby.
Oh, you mean the Levers Ferry?
Is that what a hotel is called, by the way?
I don't recall that was it. I just made that name up on the fly.
It's whichever one has the heroes staying in it. The ones that saved the town.
I don't think I actually gave this one a name. Okay.
Wow.
Okay.
20. And I said, what, 220?
Yes.
What's the second one?
I believe so. Yes.
I have 808 gold left.
Oh my giddy heart. Where did you get that platinum again?
Early on, extremely early on. Remember all that, remember when we, remember that first chest? It had all gold in it?
Oh my god.
I've been holding on to it for that long! Fucking 30 episodes!
So, is this what dread and remorse feels like?
Yes, it also feels like for the DM not keeping track of the players' money. Plus, that 1,000 gold reward kind of helped too.
Anyway, anything else, ladies and gentlemen?
Potion of invisibility.
You'll get that in some days, by the way.
No,
I'm putting it in there so I don't forget about it.
Okay, Heidi. Okay. So, after all this is done, has everyone finished up everything they need to do, by the way?
Yeah.
Okay.
Pretty much.
So at this point, if that's what everyone's done, every one of you makes your way back to the local hotel. A better expression, sorry. You make your way back there, you all rest up, and the evening comes along. So, is there anything anybody wants to do while you're back at the inn now?
Well, first, Trip will relay the information about Crystal saying thanks to Topaz.
Okay.
And then pretty much say about and then pretty much tell Topaz about Magnus finding the book in the archives.
Okay. So Topaz, so you pass on all the information about that book that you found?
Yeah.
Okay. So Topaz, you hear all the information that was passed to you from the dragons that was mentioned about Azarine, Cobalt, Volcanus, and Crystallis, and your mind does get a little bit curious when Crystallis is brought up. Lena?
Lena?
Is NFK. Either there, she's still making stuff.
Is she?
Yes.
Oh, there you are. Sorry.
There you are.
There we are.
I was on mute. I usually stay on mute if nothing's going on that involves me.
No worries.
That's fine.
But basically, just a recollection. You heard the information I passed on about Crystallis, right?
You believe so? Yeah.
So I'm guessing you know why that would be a trigger for you.
Are you talking were you talking about Chrysalis or Quill?
I was referring to Creo.
Yeah, I remember that. I remember that you were talking about that.
You've slightly forgotten, haven't you?
I have notes. Excuse me.
Okay. Then, to brief this up slightly, just for the sake of this, Topaz's home area is the mountain range outside of Creo.
That I already knew because of my notes. Thank you very much.
The others all didn't know that.
No.
Nope.
Nope.
You never mentioned your home.
Yeah, I've actually got the notes. I have got the notes here. The name Creo was brought up once back in Helix.
Yeah, that I think I said it was back in Helix.
Yeah, so it was the one time when you all met up with Scald, who told you about the information that happened there. So when you had that confrontation with Scald and he vanished off, that's where Topaz brought up that she was from the mountain range that was outside of Creo. So that's why I said, for the record, that's why I said to Magnus, the name of Creo was a trigger.
And that's why Strip does not know anything.
Mm-hmm.
Because again, it wasn't Helix. I knew it wasn't Helix.
So, Lena, how will Topaz react to the name Creo?
A memory trip, mainly.
Okay. So, who's the one who revealed the information? Trip, right?
Yeah, Chip
Okay.
told Topaz.
All right. Magnus, are you with Trip at this point to pass this on, or have you gone off?
Are Charlie and I finished with the potion shop at this point?
Yes.
Then I'd probably shown up at the hotel at this point.
Okay. Well, I'll say for the sake of easiness, when you guys have all sat down for the meal and things, this is where you bring up the information with everyone there, and all of you look at Topaz when the city of Creo is brought up. Topaz, I need you to roll. Could you roll me a history check, please?
Sure. Let's see, where is it? History +2. Okay, got it.
Mm-hmm. Are you liking what I've been throwing at you?
You're like him kill you.
Oh, okay, Heidi.
Yay, murder.
16, okay. So, all of you look as Topaz, when the name Creo was brought up, you watch as Topaz's ears slightly raise up. The hair on her back stands on from what you can see. And you look, and Topaz is just staring off into the distance with her mouth slightly open in a little bit of surprise. Inside your mind, Topaz, you remember the days that you spent in Creo. After the attack on your home village, back in the mountain range where you were born, where you were raised with Skuld by your side, you remember the days that you ventured back to Creo after what happened, with only your chief still intact and a few members alive. You remember that you ventured down that mountainside to Creo in a mixture of pleading for help, pleading for safety, pleading for warmth, kindness, and just somewhere to be. You just remember when they said they would take you in, you all remembered turning round all the tabaxi that was with you, and the last sight you could recall at this point when Creo was brought up was when the mayor of that town called out to you and said, "Welcome to our fair city. I promise you will be safe here in Creo." And at that point, your mind fades out when you remember turning round and you just saw this flash of bright orange engulf what was left of your small village. And as this happens, a small tear drips down your cheek and just drips right into your drink with a gentle drip.
Are you okay?
I don't know. Where did you hear this name?
From this. I have the book on me.
So Topaz, you see the same book that you see this green book that is named History of Dragons. And that's basically what you look on there. And you see that Magnus is the one holding it.
Magnus, where did you find this?
I didn't, actually. Trip found it.
Trip, where did you find this?
The archives, the city archives, they had a lot of information, and well, I found the book there because I was looking for knowledge.
Knowledge.
Thank you, microphone cut.
Here in my garage. I just bought myself this brand new dedicated book.
Do you want to know what I like better than this book? Knowledge.
Knowledge.
Okay. Thank you for doing that joke. Sorry, carry on.
Okay, amateur hour's over.
Okay, sorry. Carry on.
The archive.
Yeah.
That's where you found this?
Trip knots.
May I see that, please?
Of course. I was the one that checked it out, so give it back to me when you're done.
I will. Thank you.
Otherwise, I think the gnomes will come for me.
You see the barkeeper. You see the barkeeper now just races up and goes, "Oh, you're on about the Three Stooges."
I thought there were 4 of them.
No, there's I think we found the 4th one. He's in my room now.
One of these days.
I am now dead.
Revive!
You!
Oh, I got a double.
Yes, you did. Okay, so Topaz, you have the book. What are you wanting to look in the book?
I was wanting to look at the information of Creo that may be in the book.
Okay, because of those two looking at the book and them helping you out, you do find that that your town of Creo is brought up in the chapter of Chrysalis, and
Okay.
you see the information that apparently that, and based on the information you also get from Trip, that there was a statue that was dedicated to Chrysalis. Based on your history check, based on that 16, I will say that at one point, when you were very, very young, during your days in the village, back in the mountains,
Okay.
you remember that the name Chrysalis did come up one point during your youth, and that was in the temple that was close by to your domain. The Temple of the Feline Luck.
My God. I remember this name.
What name is that?
The name Chrysalis right here, see?
Yes. We were looking at that earlier.
Yes, but read further.
Okay.
Are you pointing out? Are you trying to point out the temple bit?
Yes.
Well, the temple bit is actually from your memory. It's not in the book.
Maybe
Okay.
Silver's Keep.
Okay.
Silver's Keep. Silver's Keep was actually related to Helgable. It was more on the western side of the southern area. From where Topaz was born, Topaz was on the eastern side of the southern board.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah. In fact, I can look this up briefly on my map again, because I've got the map of it right here. To be specific, Topaz originally is from the Crystal Gleam Mountains, which is the area that dotted around Creo. The Silver's Keep is located towards Helgable, that you got from the book, and that's towards the western side. So at the minute, Topaz. So Topaz is just on Magnus, and Magnus is just looking through this book, just like, huh? What am I looking for?
Oh my God, I don't believe this. The temple.
Temple.
What temple?
I remember a temple.
Where is this temple?
My God. Unbelievable.
I think you all look and you see that Topaz is just sort of lost in her mind of thoughts at this point.
Yeah, I'm pretty much lost in my mind because all I'm thinking of right now is the temple that you mentioned to me earlier.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so right now you two, you're basically calling out to something almost on deaf ears at this point.
I'm gonna snap my fingers in front of Topaz's eyes. Manu to Topaz, you there?
Ursula, thank you.
What were you thinking about? What's going on?
Whenever I saw the name Chrysalis, I remembered that name from back in the temple that I used to visit a lot.
And what temple would that be?
It was called the Temple of the Feline Luck.
Full of the feeling.
Yes, I don't know if you've heard of it.
If you want to, I'll allow people to make a history check at this point if you guys want to find information. If anyone wants to.
I will roll a history check.
Yep. The only Topaz, I'll say at this point, if you want to, I'll allow you an advantage if you want.
I'm good for right now.
Manu, therefore he wouldn't know what it would be anyway.
Yeah. Well, I'd say for Trip. But yeah, Trip will be able to learn this because I'll say Trip was learning this information to maybe go on the journey. So yeah, you're still fine. So Zelion with a 22. Jeez.
I'll just roll. So technically, I think Trip will fail. Hello?
Well, it all depends. Are you proficient in history? Whoa! Never mind.
Oh.
I thought Trip rolled. My mistake.
I was trying to roll, but apparently, no, that's that's is one. Oh my God! Critical.
Natural 20.
Well done, Trip.
Okay.
Yeah, well done, Trip Shield.
So Zelion and Trip there. Is anyone else making the check, or is it just those two?
Nope.
I figured I'd be too far away from the mountains to even know about this, so I'm not gonna try.
Fair enough.
Okay.
Okay, so to both of you, because you both got higher than the 20, you have never stepped foot in this place, obviously, for certain reasons, but the Temple of the Feline Luck is rumored to have been a sacred ground located within the Crystal Gleam Mountains. It is said that the only creatures there that have been allowed to enter their hollowed halls of pure light were those that were proficient with the knowledge and skills of a feline. Meaning anything that was classed as feline-like could enter, whether for safety, for warmth, for learning, or even just to bless. It was mostly located for the tabaxi purposes, mostly to worship any god they could deem worthy within their eyes, or even just to call out to the heavens for a voice to call out to them, waiting for them to give them the sign that it was safe to come down from the mountains. Because you got higher than 20, the extra bit of information that you get is that the Temple of the Feline Luck used to have locations dotted around most areas that Tabaxi was said to lay as a home base. It is also rumored that the only location that you have read up of the Temple of the Feline Luck that was located was the Crystal Gleam Mountains, and was said to be a dangerous place known to house a force that was dangerous to Manu.
Do I get anything for being a crit?
Yeah, I'll give you a little extra for it. For the critical Trip, I will say that the one thing that you also know is based on the fact that Chrysalis was shiny, you're able to determine that the Crystal Gleam Mountains was a sanctuary for Chrysalis when she wasn't at her castle.
Okay. So you can see Trip all deducing it together and
I'm just expecting the Phoenix Wright music to start playing in the background.
Nope, it just doesn't go. Oh. That's a lot of O's.
Something you want to add to this conversation?
The temple, it's in the Crystal Gleam Mountains, and it's a sanctuary for feline beings, or mostly the Baxi.
You're correct.
But not only however, the temple has become dangerous because there's probably an evil sealed in there. And, well, as far as I can tell, it might be one of the places the Chrysalis was also made home there.
Okay.
You can see her a little bit doubtful because she deduced this.
Is Trip by chance sweating bullets right now?
Are you?
No, she's not really sweating. She's more trying to keep the pieces together in her head.
So she's trying to put puzzle pieces together in her brain. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that bloody double 20.
I agree with most of what Trip said.
So, also, Topaz.
Yes.
Based on the information you just heard from Trip about it housing something triggers in your mind. You remember one more thing, and this is a suppressed memory. You remember at one point when your village was set in flames with a small thing. You remember a cloaked figure coming up to you. A male voice then leaned down and just called to you as it gripped hold of the small grip of fur that they had and stared you in the eyes and just simply said, "I know you're housing it. Where is it? Where is it?" And you just remember being shook and shaken. And as this is happening, the voice echoes louder, and all you just get is this last look of a white light engulfing you. And the last thing you remember from this memory, as you begin to shiver in this modern world, you just remember hearing the voice going, "Where is it?"
Ow.
Thanks.
I think you just raped a few ears by doing that.
Sorry, I couldn't shout because my brother is actually asleep. I apologize.
You immersed the whole stream there.
Sorry, apologies to everybody in the stream.
I didn't hear, the problem is I couldn't hear how I was, and I wanted to sound daunting. I am so sorry.
You made it sound like well, I can tell you this. You made it kind of sound like a demonic way of saying "where is it." I know you were wanting to make it sound like it was a yelling "where is it."
Well, to be honest, that demonic bit was actually part of the voice as well.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
Immersive.
Yeah, thank you. So yeah, you just remember that, and at that point, Topaz.
Yes.
You then fall to your knees and you begin shaking. You just remember that when you were let go after what happened, you remember being thrown, and you just curl up into a ball, and you're there on the ground.
I'm going to kneel next to Topaz at this point, and I'm gonna just kind of observe worriedly. Hey, Topaz, you okay?
As well, and kind of slowly reach out to give her to just kind of give her a reassuring touch on the shoulder.
Something is not right.
I agree.
Zelion, let's take her up to the room so that she can rest. I don't think we should traumatize her any more than she already has. It's clear she's been through a lot as it is.
Right.
In fact, I think we should all get some rest for the journey ahead.
Yep, I agree with that.
I gently lean down and I'm gonna try and soothe Topaz's nervous state and try and lead her up to the room as best as I can.
Okay.
I will assist.
Okay. I will say, based on how things are, it does take a tiny bit of time because Topaz is being a little reluctant to move.
Yeah, because I mean, like, I'm shaking because of that memory.
Mm-hmm. So you're literally just there. In fact, based on the look from both Ursula and Zelion, you look and you see Topaz just has her eyes closed. You feel that she's breathing a little heavily, and she's just shaking as you lead her up the stairs. And as this is going on, the barkeep then looks over at the rest of you in the group and goes, "What the bloody hell have you done to your colleague?"
Wait.
Could you
Just looks shocked and doesn't really know what to do right now.
could you repeat that question again?
Yeah. "Oh, what have you done to your own colleague?"
Okay, gotcha.
Sorry.
It's okay.
Oh, I'm
The
sorry.
artist was trying to perform a Scottish accent and instead he flopped.
Brownie did the flop.
Everybody doing the flop.
It's super effective.
Okay, after this session is over, I've got a question for you.
We'll come to that when we can. All right, so is anybody doing anything else for the evening, or are you two just... what's the rest of you in the dining area doing right now? Oh, Heidi's gonna go get dinner. Okay, Trilly, what are you doing?
I imagine Trelly's just probably tending the sparks at this point, so
Just eating whatever scraps it can find.
pretty much, yeah.
Fair enough. Mugbeard, what are you doing?
I think I'm just relaxing. Possibly drinking.
Probably about right.
Drinking contest.
When is he not drinking?
When I'm fighting.
Fair enough. Okay, Trip, are you doing anything else? Fair enough. Okay. So, Zelion, as you're bringing Topaz up, Ursula is obviously bringing up as well because she's got to go get dinner. As you're taking Topaz to the room, you feel that the breathing is slowly beginning to calm down, just ever so slightly. There you see more tears just begin to stream down the side of the face that you can see. You begin to see the small trail of the drips that actually have dropped onto the floor. And you do help her into the room, and the time is there for you guys.
Okay, so we just got to the room.
Yes, you got to the. Are you taking Topaz to your room, or are you taking her to her room?
Taking her to her room.
Okay. So you take her into the room. What do you do?
I'm going to guide her over to the bed.
Okay. So I take it you just set her down?
Yeah, and I'm just going to keep an eye on her and make sure that she's going to be okay before I leave the room.
Okay.
Not like that, guys. Shut up.
All right. Lena, how is Topaz in this scenario?
At this point, she's trying the best that she can to calm down from that horrible memory she had.
Okay, in that case, I would like you to make a wisdom saving throw for me, please.
Okay, let's see. Wisdom saving throw.
Actually, sorry, make that intelligence.
Intelligence saving throw. That's okay.
Yes.
That would be a +4.
Yep. I worked so hard on this episode, you can tell.
It would work if I would hit the right freaking key. That's a 1d20 +4, right?
It should be. Well, actually, if you take a look on your D&D Beyond, you should have your list of saving throws, actually. Are you +4? I need to...
Yeah, I'm plus... Intelligence is INT, right?
It should be. Give me a second. I need to... Don't look at that dismissal. I don't want to look at that. Here we go. Please excuse me, ladies and gentlemen. I need to pay more attention to what I have for my characters, ladies and gentlemen. Let's see. Topaz. So what have you got for saving throw? Is it 4? I need to double check this sheet.
My saving throws are right right below everything.
You do have +4. You have what saving throw for charisma? Bloody hell, Lena!
But for charisma, yeah, I have a +7.
She has a +7 on saving throws for charisma.
Nice.
Okay, yeah. So make your intelligence saving throw, please, Lena.
That would be a +4. Now that's 1d20, right?
Mm-hmm. Oh.
7.
You're still a bit of a mess, but you at least are able to at least acknowledge that Zelion is there. You sort of zone back a little and notice that you're still in the room, but you're still the same mess that you were in.
Okay.
So Zelion, you look over and you see that Topaz she's sort of looking around just sort of slowly. She sort of looks over at Ursula, then looks back at you. You can then see the full look on her face as the tears are fully there.
Fez?
Huh?
Are you okay?
Honestly, Zelion, I don't know. All I can think about is that man's voice asking me, where is it?
Whoa. What? Whose voice?
A man's voice. I couldn't see his face.
Okay, it's okay. You don't have... If it helps you feel better, you don't have to tell us right this instant. Just tell us when you're ready, okay?
Thank you. You were true friends.
Ursula just sort of looks at you and goes, I know what holding memories can do to someone. It's always a good thing to hold on to certain memories. Just... if you're holding on to a sad memory, just know that there is a shoulder to cry on. Just find the person who you trust. Just let it out and say what you need to say. Granted, I'm no perfect angel myself. I mean, look at me.
I slowly stand up from the bed and walk over to Ursula and give her a gentle hug.
Aww. She just sort of goes wide-eyed for a little, like, and then just gives you the hug back in the process. You sort of see Ursula just sort of opens her eyes, just looks over at you, Zelion, just for a brief moment, at least just to kind of get, I think she's just trying to sort of say that she might need something, I guess.
I'm gonna give her a gentle pat on the shoulder, I guess.
Ursula just sort of sighs and pulls you into the hug, so it's like a 3-person hug at this point.
Whoa, okay. I joined the group hug.
3-way group hug. Group hugs all around.
Yay! Hashtag group hug. All right. Oh, everyone would like.
You know what? Screw the rules. I'll do it.
Oh, what are you doing? Oh wait, I hear typing. Hey, hashtag group hug.
Hey, whenever I said screw the rules, I'll do it. I did it.
Screw the rules. I have hashtags.
Screw the rules, I have hashtags. Screw the rules. I have my keyboard.
Wow.
Anyway, sorry.
Oh!
So, Topaz, being immersed in this hug from Ursula and from Zelion, you begin to feel your breathing slowly coming back. How do you react to this whole thing?
I believe that now I feel like I've fully calmed down, even though the tears are still coming out.
Okay. Ursula just sort of takes a little bit of a robe and just sort of dabs the little bits where your tears are just to try to dry them up a little bit. Are you gonna be okay?
Yes. I'm fine now. Thanks to you, my friends. Thank you so much, Ursula. Thank you too, Zelion.
No problem. We're here. We're here to help.
Ursula sort of smiles for a bit and then just looks and goes, "Still, though, I wonder what you could have gone through, though, to make you feel like that. That must have been some memory."
And as you said, Ursula, we all have our bad memories. I know you with your father.
Yeah. That stupid sack of crap.
I put my hand on Ursula's shoulder, giving her a reassuring squeeze.
She looks up to you and just sort of nods and goes, I'm okay. I'm fine.
You're sure?
Of course I'm sure. I think major purpose is looking after the kitty cat here. She looks like she could need it more than me right now anyway.
I feel so blessed from my goddess to have you as friends.
Thanks.
I know that she is watching over me and watching over all of you as well.
I may not worship a god like you all do, but I'm sure she's proud of you.
Thank you.
I kind of touch up. I kind of grasp up my shirt a bit, just kind of feeling my pendant right beside my dragon shard.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anything else?
Not that I can think of at the moment.
Not me neither.
Okay. All right. So to the rest of the group, is anyone doing anything else before we wrap this up for the day, or wrap up in the game day, should I say?
Oh, okay. Going to sleep.
No, not really. You know, Trip is still debating what she's going to do with the silver exactly, but she knows she's going to use something that she needs to make later.
Okay. Buckbeard, what are you doing?
How late is it?
Right now, based on how time is, it's coming up to just about 8 o'clock in the evening.
Well, yeah, that's pub o'clock.
You're drinking yourself crazy, I take it?
Well, not crazy, because that wouldn't take much.
Again, when is this guy not drinking?
When he's fighting.
When I'm fighting!
When he told you.
Exactly.
I was trying to be funny.
Wait, is that implying he's drinking when he's sleeping?
I wouldn't be surprised.
He's just in the bed.
Okay, enough jokes.
Why did I wake up? Oh, right, I'm out of booze.
Hey, if IV packs exist in this game, you'll have an IV pack hooked up to him as he's sleeping.
Remember, only drink when you're breathing in the right direction.
Oh no! Not saying anything horrible to that. Please don't take that the wrong way, anybody.
Are we having fun yet, ladies and gentlemen?
I think so. Alright. Magnus, so what are you doing exactly, dude?
Going to bed.
You're going straight to bed, okay.
What?
Trilly, what are you doing?
Trilly is going to bed as well.
Okay.
What?
Trip, what about you?
My drinking buddies are going to bed. I can't allow that.
Uh-oh.
Trip, against her better judgment, decided to stay with Mugbeard to keep company.
Oh, drinking buddy.
You can see.
I was basically going to say sucks to be Mugbeard, but then again, now he's got a drinking buddy. His regular drinking buddies have hit the sack.
Yeah, what the hell?
Unbeknownst to in the room, you suddenly hear In fact, next door, Trilly, you actually hear next door to you as you just head into bed. You suddenly hear the sound of Magnus just suddenly just going in the screaming in his pillow like the piano.
He's having nightmares about that killer piano eating him.
I have no recollections of any piano.
The dwarf's gonna
must have been drunk.
Inside check.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have gone from D&D to Attack of the Killer Piano.
Super Mario,
Oh my.
Super Mario 64 all over again.
Please.
Yes.
At this rate, Brownie's gonna make a piano mimic.
Oh, yes.
Boom, boom, boom.
Please do.
The Brownie will remember that.
The piano, that strikes a chord.
No! Oh, you're just turning the right keys, aren't you? Okay.
You'll make a note of that.
Oh.
Anyhow, yeah, Trip decided to stay with, to give Mugbeard some company.
Okay. Are you two
Oh, it's about me.
Yeah, are you doing anything in particular, or just giving him company?
Just give him company because Trip kind of abstains from drinking at the moment.
Okay. Mark, are you just sticking drinking in the inn at the minute?
Oh, hell yeah.
Okay. I'll say you can just...
Oh. Apparently I'm rich now, so I'm going to buy everyone a drink.
Oh. Some of the workers in the bar, they just heard you talk that, and it's just like, hooray!
Yes. Does that wake up Magnus?
Magnus, are you waking up at all when you hear them all when they hear them all shout?
He's gonna need to roll for it, cause
Yeah, go ahead. Make a.
Otherwise, no.
I'll let you make a perception check. I'll say he'll catch you just as you're about to head off, so you've still got some hearing in your ears. I gotta put this on.
Damn it.
Where's Kibatu when you need him?
If he doesn't wake up from this, I've got ideas.
I didn't wake up for when Second Thunder clapped.
Quick question for the DM, if I may.
Yes.
Is this infamous drinking music?
This is drunk as I like. That's exactly what it's called.
So therefore I was right, it is the infamous drinking music.
Yep, it's from the Toho series, if I recall.
Yeah, it is.
Okay, carry on, drink yourself silly.
Alright, I'll say with the base on this, Magnus, you do sort of stir, and you do hear the sound of the cheering, but you can't exactly tell exactly what it is. You just hear the noise. He just goes to sleep. Fair enough. So back in the tavern there, Trip, you just watch as Raven is just, you watch as Mugbeard just calls out. Yeah, I realize it's just called out to buy drinks for everyone. So are you joining in the drink?
Well, Trip is probably gonna get a drink, and she's gonna look at. I normally abstain from drinking, but for this one time, she will take the beer.
Oh, good. All right. So you all begin to enjoy yourselves for the evening. For Trip to try and move off of the situation at hand of what has been brought up because of this book. Mugbeard is just doing as he does, trying to either liven spirits or just liven himself. Either way, he's trying to make somebody happy. He just doesn't care who.
Well, I'm going to buy a couple more rounds, and I want to actually get a crowd to go and make Magnus happy.
I hate you so very much.
Okay, Raven, make a persuasion check at advantage because they're all drunk off their heads.
Yucky.
Wouldn't it be disadvantage? Because they're drunk off their heads.
Well, persuasion because he's drunk too, so he's enjoying himself.
Oh.
12. Okay, not quite as persuasive. You do get two people who look at you and go, "That's a great idea." Then a few of them just look at you and just like, "But what about the rest of the hotel? We don't want to wake up all them, right?"
Well, we actually do want them all to be happy and partying with us. You know, it's going to be fun.
Can I say something?
Go ahead.
How will I know that Trip is getting tipsy, drunk, and such from the beer?
And she falls over more than usual.
Constitution.
Problem is, because Mugbeard's a dwarf, he takes a lot longer to get drunk.
Yeah, but Trip is a furbog, as he doesn't have the things that Mugbeard has.
Oh, right. I'll say after the second one, it will be a Constitution saving throw to keep yourself steady.
No, I'm going to go with the first because she's not going to drink a second one.
Okay.
He's going to refuse at that point and give it to Mugbeard. So like, here, have mine.
Well,
one is enough.
I'll say at this point, Mug, you do have two people who are rallying with you who want to go for this fun idea of yours, but you might need a bigger crowd if you want to get everyone else.
You can see Trip face palming from us. But she is smiling on her, saying like, "It's what it is."
You know what? I'll buy everyone another round. And we're going to get Magnus to party.
If anyone shows up at the door, he's punching you in the face.
Well, right now, you guys are... right now, Magnus, you're asleep. Yes. So how can you punch?
That'll prevent him from punching him in the face.
Okay, well, I'll allow this... Magnus, make one more perception check. Just as you're 16. Oh no, Magnus, you hear this and you can hear that Mugbeard is up to something. You can tell he's up to something at this point.
What the hell?
And at this point, to those who are still slightly awake, you just hear coming up the stairs of Magnus.
What the heck is going on?
He's going to die. He is going to die.
Just for the record, he has not told me to do any of this.
Okay, remember that first thing I wanted to do, Brownie? This is it.
Oh no. Go on, say it again. What are you doing?
Getting my revenge. I'm gonna shove him into the piano.
I'm not doing anything.
Okay, so at this point you all make your way to Magnus's door. Magnus, you then hear
Oh no, I'm not going there. I'm just letting the crowds go there. I'm just sitting at the bar. I'm just enjoying this.
Mind if I open the door and roll for intimidation?
If you want to give it a shot, sure. Oh, at this point, by the way, Topaz, you look out. I'll say at this point, Yeah. So Topaz, you actually look out of the door at this point, and now you see the crowd next to your room on the other side where Trilly was. Well, basically, Trilly's where her room is. Magnus is in the middle with that room, and you've got your room next to there. So you open the door, and you see this crowd hanging outside Magnus's door. And there's the half-orc standing in the doorway, who's just looking with a 22.
With a murderous intent in his eyes.
Okay, did you by chance see the message that I wrote?
I'm gonna get me something to eat while you get this first. Yeah, that's why I said when you opened the door, that's when you saw them. Yeah, they're not even gonna try. They literally just go, shit, run! And they all rush back down. And they literally come up to you, Mugbeard, and go, Master, we have failed you. He got scary.
Well, I didn't send you.
But your idea said that we should go there and get him.
I have no recollection of this anyway.
I hate you so.
Make a deception check.
Magnus is going down at this point.
19. They believe you. They're like, wait, what? Were you just? No, it's your fault. And they look at each other. No, it's your fault. Your fault. And they start fighting each other in the bar.
Magnus is going down at this point.
Okay, so
I'm just ordering another beer.
So Magnus, you come down there. You walk past Topaz, who's just looking on at this point. So Topaz, you look and you see Magnus complete with a blood intent in his eyes.
Trip looks annoyed, and already noticed that there's another free beer next to her, and she just holds out to Magnus.
Oh no! I'm not here to drink.
She puts it back down and says,
"Where's the dwarf?"
Mugbeard, are you sitting in the open?
Oh, yes, I am.
Okay, yeah. You find him. He's just sat right next to Trip, currently just drinking out of a mug.
You!
Me?
You!
I'm just drinking.
The only way they would have known my name is if you had told them
you have been famous here as the hero of what's this town? Noir.
Oh my lord!
I have a question.
Yes.
When did Ren from Ren and Stimpy show up in here?
You, Magnus, Mugbeard, I could kill you.
I look at the bartender. Where's the piano?
We don't have one. It got blown up by the dragon.
You can see Trip looking away. He's like,
Is there an empty barrel around here?
With
And some nails.
With how much this guy's been drinking, I wouldn't be surprised. Okay, sorry, so we'll go back a bit there. Zelion, you're up with Ursula. So at this point, you both poke your heads out as you look and see Topaz, who's just... Topaz has blocked the way a little bit, so now Zelion and Ursula are now looking on Topaz.
Right? Oh.
Yeah, and now all you now hear is just the sound of this, you.
You're being really aggressive here. Do you want a beer?
Barkeep?
Hold on. I'm going to roll for this one. Hang on, where's my dice? Where's my dice? There we go. He looks at you and goes, I think I may have one. And he pulls around the back and begins to roll this large barrel, pushing right into there, and just sets it up and says, "Why do you ask?"
You'll see in a second. Gentlemen! The first person to get the dwarf in the barrel and nail it shut gets a gold piece.
They all make a persuasion check.
Just one gold piece? I'll offer you two if you put him in it.
Yeah.
You see the dwarf barkeep just look at you and go, "Oh no."
Not you, dwarf!
Trip just stands up and you can see something you don't see much on her face. It's pure annoyance.
Oh. Minus for the 10 there. A Trip, if you want to try to persuade them, you can try to make an intimidation check.
You can just Trip going like, if you two are going to try to harm each other and paying others, there might be something worse in store for you.
No, you're drunk.
No, she's annoyed, but yeah, intimidation check, right?
Yep. I'll say at this point, Magnus, you look and you do see Trip just having this look of.
Okay.
I'm just honestly just trying to get a beer
12.
here, and he's...
Doesn't work.
Well, actually no, because it does beat the Magnus persuasion roll. So Trip technically has the priority over the crowd.
Fair enough.
So, Mugbeard, if you want to try to take the crowd back, you'll have to beat that 12.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
22. Yeah, that does it. So, at this point, the crowd look over and go, 2 gold!
Well, no, you know, I'll just buy you a beer and it's over.
Your face palms.
What's worth more? A gold or some beer?
Magnus, what's your armor class again?
18.
18. Okay. 19. As you actually turn around, you hear a squeaky floorboard, and you turn around, and at that point, smack! Something just whacks you over the side of the head. Trip and Mugbeard, you look and you actually see that it's the barkeep who's just got involved in the battle.
Don't tell me you're
said
getting...
I would give you all a beer if you wouldn't do anything.
Wait, it wasn't supposed to. Wait,
confused.
it wasn't supposed to happen.
No?
I'm gonna stare at the barkeep now. You might have made a mistake there, Pally.
Well, this was a lovely night. I'm off. To my room. Bye.
Mind if I roll an athletics check? Grab him by the collar.
Who, Mugbeard?
Yes.
Both make a dexterity roll off.
Dex.
You gotta beat 19.
Mm.
Oh no! You reach for the hand.
If I had gotten a 20, that would have been hilarious.
You miss, and you just watch Mugbeard disappear. And to the two girls and the bard who have just poked their head out of the door, you all now look and you see Mugbeard just walking up the stairs at this point.
And a very pissed off Magnus.
Do we want to know?
Oh, I locked my door.
That's not gonna stop me.
And barricaded.
Here's Magnus.
Trip decides to go. Trip, of course,
Johnny reference?
Trip decides to go after Magnus so he doesn't do anything destructive.
Oh, it's not destructive against property. It's destructive against people.
Well, you have to beat the door first.
Oh, I'm not going after you. I'm going after the dwarf.
He's going after the barkeep.
Oh, okay, that's good.
Oh
I'm
no!
struck first. Therefore, he gets punched in the face first.
I knew this confusion would work out. I knew it would.
Trip tries to get in
Now, if you'll
between
excuse me,
Magnus.
I am going to roll an unarmed strike.
No. Trip tries to intervene by standing between the barkeep and Magnus.
Sure, I'll allow it.
You allowed, or do you have to roll for it?
I'll allow you to make a roll for it. If you can beat, well, actually, hold on. Magnus, what's your dexterity plus the modifier without rolling? What's your score on it? No, I mean, what's your score on it on your sheet? As in, is it 8, 10, 11, 12?
It is 13.
13. So, Trip, if you could beat a 13 on a dexterity to get in the way, then you can block the hit.
That would require me.
We talked about Trip here, remember that.
Yeah, I know.
So wouldn't it be disadvantage?
Trip at this point, in blind rage and annoyance, is like, no, I gotta get in this. You slip on a small bit of beer and...
Oh, that was mine.
I knew it. You are drunk. And now, where was I? Oh, yes.
Roll an unarmed strike attack.
Oh, and it's a crit.
No,
Because it's a 19.
It is a crit, because fighters get crit at 19. Oh no. So unarmed, that's double the one, that's 2 damage, right?
Yep.
Oh my god.
Basically, my hardest unarmed strike to date.
At this point, the barkeep, you whack the barkeep and you knock him flat on the ground. He's out cold.
Oh no.
You all saw what he did to me.
And it's there you realize that the barkeep was also the hotel owner.
He did whack me over the head. And we're not paying for these rooms.
True. Okay, well, I'll say at this point the night ends on a...
Violent.
Fun.
High note.
Ends on a note. And with that, you all begin to relax, calm yourselves for the evening, and you all begin to take it easy.
I need to do one thing, though.
What's that?
Nail his windows shut.
It's on the outside of the building. It's the only window there. You'd have to climb up to reach it.
And
Oh, no.
I think he's just angry enough to do it.
Oh god.
Oh my god, what have I done?
You shouldn't have done that, Brownie.
I shouldn't have done that.
Having done for the night.
I'll say at this point,
0 regrets.
Magnus, I'll allow you one athletics check to try to reach his window if you
That's
really
still
want
a
to do it.
plus 7.
Shit.
Not killing it. Fail. Okay.
You make it to the window, and there you look through the window, and there you see a mugbeard who's doing what?
That's it.
Mugbeard, what are you doing in your room right now, unaware of the giant half-orc with full armor creeping up on the window?
I am the
Oh, I'm just sleeping now.
You look.
It was an eventful night, but I'm sleeping.
Oh boy.
Havoc wrecker.
Okay. So, what are you doing, Mag? Are you just looking through the window?
Like I did say, I was gonna nail his windows shut.
Do you have the nails with you?
I have smithing tools.
Yeah, but you don't have the nails or the boards.
Fair enough. Can I open the window?
Make a strength check.
Guess what that is? Another +7.
15. Well,
rolling a lot of +7s.
Actually, no. Let me rephrase that. Sorry. Make it. Are you going for full force, or are you doing stealthily?
Stealth.
Okay, stealth check.
Damn, it's a -1.
You know what I was hoping
It's actually a
for?
+1. What?
You know what I'm waiting on?
What?
8. There it is.
I am waiting for someone to say this one line from Rand that I love so much. The line is the following: "You filthy swine, I will kill you."
I wouldn't be surprised. Okay, 8. As you try to lift it, you hear the sound of as the little bit of window ledge that you're standing on begins to slowly begin to give way due to a giant half-orc in armor still sitting on it. And it does attract some attention. As one of the Celeste guards comes out and looks up and goes, "Halt!
Evening! I am Magnus!
You're a fucking idiot! What are you doing?"
Trying to get revenge on one of my friends!
And the shouting at this point wakes up Mugbeard.
No! I open up the window.
Unfortunately, the window opens outwards.
Yes, that's good.
So Magnus, you get pushed by the window. I need you to make a dexterity saving throw for me, please.
Oh, I was waiting for that to happen.
Ow!
You sort of stumble a bit, but then you fall flat. But then you fall on your feet almost elegantly. And then yeah, and Zelion with the best response. Here's it. Opens the window. Nope. At this point,
What's going on here? Why was the window so heavy?
At this point, the Celeste God comes up to you, Magnus, and just goes, "You do understand that it is getting late, pal."
Yeah. He kind of sent a crowd to my door.
Look, I was just trying to sleep right now.
Both of you make persuasion checks.
I was not lying.
I know, that's why I said persuasion. You try to convince the god that you're in the right better than the other. At this point, he looks at you, Magnus, and goes, "The end of the day, pal, you were on his window ledge." And with that, he takes a bit of rope and ties it around your hands and says, "You coming with me, pal?"
You sure
Oh,
about
you
that?
don't have to take him. He can just sleep in his room.
I was just about to roll a strength check to break the ropes.
Through the god's ropes.
Yeah. It's gonna be like pulling apart handcuffs.
Okay. Well, okay, because of the 24, Mugbeard, I'll say at this point, he looks at you and goes, "You want me to let him off without charges, pal?"
Yes.
He looks at you for a moment and goes, "You do understand the luck you've been given, pal, right?"
Yeah.
And he unties the rope.
Well, I'm going to back to sleep. Good night.
At this,
Close the windows.
at this
Tell if
point,
he's chaotic stupid or chaotic neutral.
Both.
at this point, the god just looks at you and goes, "Best get back to bed, pal."
Yeah.
And I'll say for the levity, it takes, with all this commotion, about an hour for it all to calm down. But then the night takes you, and you all get a long rest. And level up, people!
Oh my.
Finally.
I was waiting till you finished all your agendas. I had to wait to see where this was going. Congrats, everyone! Level up times!
Yes.
So,
I don't gain anything.
So you all increase your hit dices, do what you need to do. We'll all sort that out. You can get your hit points. We'll sort that out after the stream, or we'll do that another time. Up to you guys. But with that said, ladies and gentlemen, I think that's where we'll end tonight's episode.
Hey.
So with that said, ladies and gentlemen, I know. So with that said, ladies and gentlemen, that's all for tonight's episode.
I had a feeling.
Did everyone have fun?
Yeah.
Can I just say, I said this in the chat, but for those on the stream, can I just say that Magnus and Mugbeard's spats are the best parts of the stream, I feel.
Oh dear.
I will sadly disagree. I will sadly agree. Because I happily agree to that. Alright, so with that said, ladies and gentlemen, if you were charged to join with this stream, be sure and hit the subscribe button and check us out on the channel. Huge thank you to all of you who turned up. It's been an absolute blast. I had a great time writing all that stuff for this whole adventure for the dragons, and I'm so glad my improv worked for some drunken escapades.
Hey.
Again. But with that said, we'll see what happens. So, the crew rested up, slightly more stronger than they were before. How will things work now? Well, you'll have to tune in next time, and we'll see what happens. So, with that said, perceptions rolled low. It's time for us to go. So with that, it's goodbye from Brownie of the Joy Charge Gamers. It's goodbye from Raven.
Hello, bye.
He's still drunk. It's goodbye from Dell.
Bye.
It's goodbye from Lena.
Bye.
Bye, peoples.
Goodbye from Aeon.
Bye.
Chopper.
Later.
Heidi.
Adios, amigos.
And Cutlow.
I guess I'm here.
And with that said, we'll see you all for the next episode. This is Brownie the George Hart Gamer signing off on Let's Play Live Perception Check. Stay charged, and catch you all later. Goodbye!
Peace out.
Toodaloo.
Wait, what? What was that, Heidi?
I said peace out. Sorry, I didn't have my pop filter on today.
That's alright. I just wonder what you said. Laters.